Do you know that feeling after dinner? An overwhelming wave of drowsiness hits you. You're half asleep and barely conscious, and then, suddenly, you become completely wide awake around midnight, only to finally collapse into sleep at 2 or 3 in the morning. It can happen once in a while, but if this pattern happens often, it's a serious health problem. So, why does this keep happening? First reason, too many carbohydrates at dinner. When dinner is heavy in refined carbohydrate, like white rice or noodles or bread, digestion and absorption happens very quickly. Your blood sugar rises fast, and your body responds by releasing a large amount of insulin. The problem is that evening is the time of the day when insulin sensitivity is lowest, so the same amount of carbohydrate requires more insulin than during the daytime, and that insulin is released all at once and for a longer time. As a result, blood sugar drops rapidly. Your brain misinterprets this drop as energy shortage and sends a signal to rest, which is why intense drowsiness sets in. If you also eat very little protein or fiber, which normally slow digestion and stabilize blood sugar, this blood sugar roller coaster becomes even more extreme. And if dinner is an overeating episode, blood flow shifts heavily toward the digestive system, reducing blood flow to the brain. At that point, drowsiness is almost guaranteed. You enter that foggy, half-consciousness state. This is why reducing carbohydrate portion and eating protein and vegetables first at dinner can significantly reduce both post-dinner drowsiness and midnight awakening. Second reason, aging. When you are younger, even if we overeat, insulin is released quickly and precisely. Once blood sugar stabilizes, insulin levels drop just as quickly. As you age, this pancreatic response becomes slower and less accurate. Insulin is released later in larger amounts and for longer than necessary, causing blood sugar to fall too much. That's why overeating feels like simple wholeness when you are young, but turns into heavy, foggy drowsiness as you get older. This is why as you age, it's especially important to avoid carbohydrate-heavy dinners. Third reason, lying down during post-dinner drowsiness. Post-dinner sleepiness is a physiological response, not accumulated fatigue. But if you give in and lean back or lying down at that moment, your brain misjudges the situation and thinks, oh, this must be bedtime. The problem is that your central biological clock is not yet in sleep mode. Melatonin is still low, so you don't enter deep sleep, only a shallow, half-asleep state. This sends the brain a false signal that you've already slept. Normally, melatonin begins to rise around 9 to 10 p.m., bringing natural sleepiness around 11 p.m. But because the brain believes you've already slept, melatonin release is delayed. Then, around midnight, the wakefulness hormone cortisol rises, and suddenly you are wide awake. Your body feels exhausted, but your brain is alert. You end up staring into space for hours until melatonin finally kicks in around 2 to 3 a.m. and you barely fall asleep. The single most important solution to break this cycle is simple. Do not lie down for at least 30 to 60 minutes after dinner. If drowsiness hits, get up and move, work indoors, stretch, or take a short walk outside. If you do this, a normal sleep signal usually returns around 11 p.m. Just this one change can noticeably improve a disrupted sleep rhythm within 1 to 2 weeks. Fourth reason, sitting all day. During the daytime, standing, moving, and using your muscle help maintain a healthy level of sympathetic nervous system activity, which keeps you alert. But if you sit all day, large muscle groups are barely used. Signals from muscles to the brain decrease and sympathetic activity weakens. Then, when you eat dinner, blood flow shifts toward the digestive system, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Because sympathetic tone is already low, this transition becomes abrupt and unbalanced. Blood pressure drops temporarily, brain blood flow feels reduced, and your eyes feel heavy and unfocused. In simple terms, your sympathetic nervous system is already weak, and dinner flips the last remaining switch off, causing sudden drowsiness. The solution is surprisingly small. Walking or standing for just 10 to 20 minutes between 4 and 6 p.m. can dramatically reduce both post-dinner sleepiness and midnight awakenings. Other common contributing factors, in addition to these four main causes, check whether any of these applies to you. 1. Accumulated sleep deprivation from the previous day or chronic lack of sleep. 2. Drinking alcohol with dinner. This can double post-dinner drowsiness and worsen midnight awakenings. 3. Iron deficiency, vitamin B deficiency, or hypothyroidism, especially common and often overlooked in middle-aged women. Repeated cycles of post-dinner drowsiness followed by midnight awakenings are not just bad habits. They are warning signs that increase the risk of metabolic disease, mental health disorders, cardiovascular disease, and even accelerate aging itself. Please remember these three simple rules. 1. Between 4 and 6 p.m., stand up, move, or walk more on your way home. 2. At dinner, eat vegetables and protein first, then rice or bread. Avoid overeating. 3. If you feel sleepy after eating, move, walk it up. These small changes can protect your sleep, your metabolism, and your long-term health.